Hi, this is Bob from VVSD Tech, showing you the navigation editor in Edline. The navigation editor is a replacement for the NavBar. It's updated already on your school pages, and it is an improvement to the NavBar, but with it comes a few differences. Some visual improvements you'll see is that when mousing over the navigation menu, is that it has a nice fade in, fade out effect, and the content loads instantaneously. You can also select which folders have flyouts and which ones don't. To edit the navigation editor, you can do so in a few different ways. By mousing over the menu, I can click either the Quick Edit or the Edit Navigation, either one of these, or I can go to Tools, Edit Navigation, or the long way is to go to Edit this page, and then from the top menu, select Navigation. Either one of those ways will bring me to the Navigation Editor Edit screen, which looks like this. Okay, on the left-hand side are all the pages and content that exists on my web page. This is identical to the list view of my page. The next column over is the main navigation for the page. That's the menu bar we were just taking a look at. And the side navigation is an additional navigation feature which is not currently active on the design. So we're not going to be taking a look at the side navigation for today, just the main navigation. Okay, as you see in the main navigation, it's color coordinated. Blue will be the main headers, green is the next subfolder underneath the main header, and a yellow a subfolder in that. Okay. Yellow is the last type of subfolder you can have. Okay, so I can't have a fourth submenu, only 3. Editing the navigation editor is different than the NavBar. With the old NavBar, we had to create a folder of links that pointed to content that had already existed. With the navigation editor, I simply have to drag and drop the content that I would like into the second column here. So if there's a resource that I would like to have for my parents, I can simply just click and drag over to the parents folder and then release. Again, green means it's a subfolder underneath the parents folder. If I would like to make the report cards here, for example, a subfolder underneath a subfolder, so 3 deep, I can just click and drag it underneath and then move it to the right until it turns yellow. Okay. If I want to remove an item, I just simply hover over it and click on the X and confirm. If I want to edit any of these, I can do so. Just because it's named a certain way doesn't mean it needs to be named that way in my menu. If I wanted to condense that title, I can click on the edit icon and adjust my label here. And then click on done to save my changes. So I can pull resources from my school page, or I can pull resources from other pages by going to custom link at the bottom of that left-hand menu. I can drag custom link to where I'd like, release, and then edit. Here's the link URL. This could be a link to an outside third-party site, or I can browse all of the Edline pages for Valley View and select a resource from there, and then name it as I'd like, and then click on Done. Okay, with any folder you add, for example, Clarify is a folder, and I know that I have content under Clarify here. Okay. If I click on Edit, I have the choice to dynamically add new content as sub-items, which means anytime an item gets added to this folder, it'll automatically refresh my menu. And now it contains all of the content underneath that folder. If I want to reverse that, I can just click on the edit and uncheck. But note I still have to delete the content that I had already dynamically added. Okay, be careful with some folders. For example, the classes folder, which contains a list of classes all dating back all the way to 2007. Okay, if I dynamically add that content, you'll notice I have more than 100 items because, again, it dates back to 2007. And so you'll see that I have a multitude of classes here that are current and past. Okay, so be careful with folders like that. So for now, I'm going to delete that. And instead, what I would do is click on the plus next to classes and find my current classes. From this list, it may be difficult to find which ones are current and which ones are old. So in future years, I may want to include a naming schema that includes the year, or the school year for the class, 13-14 for example. So that way, if I wanted to add any classes to my menu, all I have to do is hover over these classes and then look for the 13-14 and drag those to the classes. Now you may notice that in your pages list you only have two types of icons, folders and documents. And the folder icon represents folders and groups, and the document represents files, Edline documents, and links. And so if you really wanted to fine-tune which item goes where in your main navigation, okay, what I recommend doing is opening up a new tab and going to your school page. And then taking a look at the icon in your navigation. So here, for example, classes, and then principals page, and then sample student report cards goes folder, group, folder. And maybe I want this group on top, above classes. Okay. Well, there's no icon here that helps me when I'm doing my editing. I just have to know. So what I would do is I would then take a look at the fact that, okay, so principals page is a group, it has the group icon, so I'm going to drag that above classes, and in my navigation editor drag principals page above classes, and then save my changes. So toggling back and forth between the two tabs might be your best option. Editing the navigation editor is a pretty straightforward process. The one issue you're going to run into is the staff resources folder. Now the staff resources folder has been set so that its visibility is only for staff members. And for whatever reason in Edline, with the navigation editor, that means that it's not going to show up in your list of available pages. You'll notice that staff resources doesn't exist here. That's a bug that we've already informed Edline of, and we're hoping to get some resolution on that soon. The workaround for that would be is to create a document outside of the navigation editor, outside of the staff resources folder, perhaps directly on the school page itself. Going to list view and adding my document or my link. So that it appears directly in the main school pages list. Okay. Now when I go back to the navigation editor, I can see my test link is here. And I can click and drag it into the staff resources folder. Save it. And then back in list view, then move it to the staff resources folder. So I've moved the test link to staff resources folder, and while the staff resources folder is set to private, the test link is still currently set to public, meaning if I signed out, I would still see it. So in order to make the visibility of test link match the visibility of the staff resources folder, I'm going to enter into the staff resources folder and edit my test link and change its visibility to only members of the school. and then click on Update. Now if I sign out, I should no longer see that test link in the Staff Resources folder. And it's going to prompt me to log in if I wanted to access it. So again, that's the one workaround until Edline fixes visibility settings in their navigation editor. If you need any additional help with the navigation editor, you can always visit the Help section of Edline, which is eec.edline.com. Searching for Navigation Editor, and taking a look at the quick video and documentation there. Okay, or for all of the questions, you can email us at vvsdtech@vvsd.org. Thanks for watching.